greasy hands. All right, so the first thing you'll notice when you're replacing the seals in the cap, and this is where it gushes, this seal right here was just, you know, completely gone, nothing left of it. There's 3 sets of seals. There's that seal, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but there's a second seal down here, and then a third one a little bit later down, a thinner seal. This third one down is like a nylon seal with a stiffer nylon keeper. This is just a seal, a nylon seal, and then this one's a metal seal, a metal cased nylon seal. So there's 4 pieces. There's 1, 2 at the bottom, 3, and the 4th is the top seal. And getting this top seal out, I found that you can suffer anxiety trying to get it out, but actually you're going to ruin it. It's already ruined, that's why you're replacing it. So putting a chisel in at the edge, bending the edge over, and then the chisel under the other side comes out really easy. So I'll do that. See, and this is after I've dented the edge in here, dented the edge in there. You can stick the chisel under that edge there, and then it pretty much just pops up. Yeah. Is it nice?
Yeah, that drill bit fits these.
Alright, so after you take that out, there's always a bunch of gunk left in it, and the whole idea behind all this is going to just be to leave it clean so the new seals have a clean bed to sit in. And that's what this little tool was, came from, it's one of my wife's knitting or sewing tools, and I found that the little hook in there works really super good. She was irritated until I explained to her that it was also really good for cleaning grease out from under fingernails and the lint out of my toenails, and she decided I could have it. Isn't that cool? So that was very kind of her. So that's the middle seal, comes out of there, and it was gapped down. We'll test that and see if that's how it's supposed to be. So you can see how it's got the valley in it and the flat side on the other, and it was facing down like that, and we'll see if that's how the shop manual says to do it or not, because I know there's a right way and a wrong way. Alright, now we'll get to digging out the, oh thanks Chris, I just said there, I'll use it in a second. This is digging out the little one in the middle is usually a little bit easier. I'll get to that. And alright, that's the middle seal, and it only has 1 piece on the old thing, and this stuff, whatever it is, I'm not sure what it is, but it's, if it was plastic or if it was rubbery at one time or whatever, it's kind of brittle and breaks up in pieces now, and it seems like that's a weird thing to use for a seal. It might not have been so flat, been worn down, but you can see down in the hole now there's pieces of it left, and you have to make sure all that's really well cleaned out, give it another power wash out, and then put the new ones in. Piston, there's three sets of things. There's this, which is I think it's just an anti-binding. It sits on the piston so that if it gets a little out of angle or something, this keeps the piston from binding. You can't see how it would actually act as a seal, but it definitely acts as a slide on the piston. That just comes off, it's split there. You'll see that when you get the new one. And this is the actual seal, which is hard. It's kind of a hard nylon, and underneath it is a rubber to create the pressure and the spring for the hard seal. And again, just get your little hook under there and pull the rubber out. We'll do that in a sec. All right, so the first thing to do on this is put the slider on. Super simple. All right, and then turn it over and get the rubber seal on, which is in here. Hold on a sec. Like that. And then you're going to put the actual seal over the rubber after that. You need 2 hands for that. So, alright, so when you're all said and done, it should look like that. You should have the slider and the seal. Rubber under the hard seal. And that hard seal is a little bit difficult to get on, but it's just like anything else. Just grab it with 2 fingers really hard and slip it over. And works out pretty good. So the manual, this is the very bottom set of seals. In the manual, you can see how this seal sits in that one like that. And it shows it going down like this. Now, if you try to put them in together, or I'm sorry, if you try to put them in together, they come apart, they cause a lot of frustration. So you have to put the blue one in first, and then the white one goes in underneath the blue one and sits in nicely. So we'll do that. Blue seal's in, and then you push the white seal down underneath it, and then up, and then around. And it'll go underneath the blue seal and fits right in there. And that acts as like a retainer and a stiffener, and vitally important. There, with the stiffener under the blue seal, all done. And then we'll do the middle one, which is this one. And in the manual shows that it should be facing down, so it's got a cupped part, and the cup should go down, flat side up. And it's just a matter of, you just push it in, get it started in the groove, and push it in around. I need two hands though. So this is the second seal, and or the first seal with its stiffener, and the second seal. You can see the lip facing down. And then this top seal is this metal collar, and the way to put this in, if you don't have a nice press, you take the piston, set it on top, and put it on something solid, and just tap the piston down, make sure it's even, and that goes in nice and even. So we'll go get that done. All right, so this is the top of the connector all done. You can see inside there I've got the bottom seal with its stiffener, the middle seal, and the outside seal flush with the top. And now we have to do the seals that keep it from leaking on the through this, where it connects to the other plate. So this front plate, these seals here actually in the cylinder are what keep it. I would have thought there'd been a seal along, you know, some sort of gasket or something in this, but it's not. It's just literally these seals right here, a stiffener and a big ring, a big O-ring, and that's what keeps it tight. So we'll replace those. Oh, I'm gonna show you the rubber gasket. Just comes out super easy. You just stick your tool in, grab it out, and then the stiffener, same thing, just grab it, pull it off. And this is really important. I found on all of these that I've done is that this gunk in here can cause a real problem. It won't seal if you don't have this super clean before you put those back in. And because of where it is, it seems to be the only place that gets super dirty. So clean that out really good, clean that groove out really good. Okay, so this is the first thing that goes on, is the little stiff retainer, and it's not that stiff really, except this way. When you know, side to side, it's really floppy and easy to get on, easy to manage. And so you get it on first, and then you put the O-ring on after it. I'll do that here. It done. It's got the retainer and the O-ring. You can see that there. And you tip it over. It's got the seals inside, and we have the piston done. Try to keep this place a little bit clean. We've got the piston done. So we are all set to put it back together. Put it back on the rod. Okay, before you slip this on, you'll want to oil all that up really good. I don't think it cares or matters what oil you use, just make sure it's well lubricated so you don't ruin things when you're slipping on the bar. The bar on this is tapered. On the other four, I'm talking about the lift and bucket cylinders, there's no taper on those, and you have to be a little bit more careful with those on how you get it past the seals without ruining it. It's just a 90-degree edge and you have to work it a little bit. Well, with this, I'll put some oil on it and we'll get it slipped on. So when you put the slider on, or when you put the piston on, just make sure your slider's at the bottom and the seal's at the top, and so that way basically, and we'll oil it up and then get it back in the cylinder. Get the nut on and then get it back in the cylinder.